Yeah, I missed my own clap, so I couldn't really pick up. But I can see it on the audio track, but there's no way you would have heard that.
All right.
Yeah, so it's totally fine.
Okay.
I just hit the top of my hands together. So yeah, so
you just miss your own hands.
I missed my own hand. I can't. Welcome to Chess Talk, episode 246. Hello. It's Brittany and I, the usual.
Hello.
And you may have heard, we have a new guest on, Tikeri. Say what's up.
Hey, what's up?
He is a old coworker of mine and wanted to be on the podcast, so I figured, hey, what better time than now when we're all trapped at home anyways, bring him on.
Yeah.
Right.
So Tikeri and I are going to be playing chess. I finally have someone, a real person to play against. I am so excited.
Yeah.
Have you played chess before?
I have just been
Okay.
a long time.
You're my favorite type of person to play against then.
The easy dub, right? For you.
After losing to a computer for over a month, I'm like, oh, please, someone. Let's, I just wanted to introduce you, Tikeri. Like I mentioned, you're an old coworker of mine, and I know you stream on Twitch. I don't know if you want to start off talking about that, or just talking about, what you're kind of into, what you do for fun.
What is your mother's maiden name, the last four of your social security number,
Please.
and what's the name of your high school?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Please,
The
I have
most
this list I want you to fill out.
Yes. We're just doing one of those weird Facebook surveys. Just.
What was your first pet's name?
I was almost tempted to actually have
Ooh.
Just keep
throwing them
bombarding
out.
me. Yeah, just keep bombarding me with these questions. So my whole Twitch thing, I don't know. It started off as a way so me and my friends, whoever, wanted to watch us do gameplays. That's pretty much how it started. Discord didn't have the whole share screen then, so we just made accounts. So that was pretty much how it was. We were just always, because I think back then we were on Skype, and then we moved on to Discord, and then like I said, they didn't have the screen sharing. So that's pretty much how the creation of the Twitch account happened, and from there it moved on to I don't know what made me watch mukbangs. If you know what that is.
I know what those are. Brittany does not. I imagine.
I know what a mukbang
Okay.
is, Mr. Assume.
Yes. You made a face that looked like you were just totally confused.
No, I made a disgusted face because mukbangs are gross.
So, Tikeri, how would you describe mukbangs for anyone that's listening that doesn't know?
It's what I would call how Twitch used to have a separate category for it. Now everything's weird. You just put it under just chatting or IRL stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was considered a category called social eating, and that's what it is. It's you could eat very large amounts. That's typically what it is of food, and then you're socializing and eating, and then it's live streaming too. So people pop in chat and talking about whatever, or they're just talking about the amount that you're eating and whatnot. So.
Right.
That's I saw it and I was like, damn, I could do that. I eat and I talk. Why can't I put these together and do it myself? And that's pretty much how it went.
Maybe I'm wrong, but I've just seen it talked about. Isn't there a niche part of that community where it's sexual? People fetishize it sometimes, I think. I've seen it talked about. Maybe it's very, very small, but
I'm sure it is.
Yeah,
I think so too. But I think you're talking more towards not the eating part, but the sounds of it, which is ASMR.
Yes.
So
I'm I know there's a part of that community where it's less about the eating and it's look at this hot girl down a whole
pounds.
Seafood platter.
Right.
Yeah, and then they just
and then
they just do they don't talk. They just let the sounds take over. And then, I mean, ASMR by itself is like weird. I get it. If you ever like done it or just like be a part of it, I get it. Because it's just sounds, and then you put on like good headphones, or and then it just kind of gives you like weird body tingles just listening to it. But I can see how there's a sexual part to it too. There's always going to be some kind of
I was going to say, if you're on the internet long enough, you're going to find a group that fetishizes it.
That was my introduction to it, was that group. So.
No, I've always known it as just like the social eating part, like the originals on Twitch, where it's just like someone eating food and you're just kind of hanging out with them.
Mm-hmm. My introduction was the bad way.
this
naturally.
Yeah, no, but that's pretty much what it is, the social eating part. I was seeing plenty of videos of just people eating and talking. The difference is, most of the time when you see those mukbang videos, they're not live, and I can't do that. I need like an audience participation.
Yeah, you get to sit there and like talk to yourself.
And then like you do the whole thing about like the Nickelodeon shows where like the kids get to participate. Like you pause. So people can like at home answer their questions, because it's like you're talking to yourself, and then you got to pause for a little bit and let people answer. But whatever, it's just I couldn't do it by myself solo, so I was like, I'll do it with live streaming, and hey, it's a thing.
No, I remember when I was still working there, and I was on like the same work schedule as you guys. Like you were, I don't know if you were just starting doing mukbangs and stuff, but anytime you would like start streaming it, I remember Max would shout it out, and I would see like a bunch of you just all in the same like voice channel. It's like so you were streaming the mukbang, and they were all just kind of like hanging out with you and shooting the shit.
And that's what I wanted. It's funny because those guys, like when we're not live, man, and we're just hanging out in the voice chat, the topics are flowing. Jokes are being, but then when I go, all right, let's go live with it, then it's quiet.
Everyone
it's like dead silence, and I was like, what happened to all these topics we were talking about? No one to say. So, but I mean, we'd still talk, but it sometimes I don't know. I'll just have to try and be the host and try and bring up subjects and whatnot and get them talking, but.
Yeah, because I mean, it's not like they would say anything super crazy, but they definitely did. They're a bunch of guys hanging out. They're just being like a little outrageous. But I'm sure that in their head, they're like, okay, I can't say that because it's recorded and it's forever.
Yeah, it's out there on the internet. It's forever.
Yeah.
But then, and then, so then just talking about your show, I went back and listened to some of the first episode of your show.
Oh, God. I haven't listened to the first episode. It's probably been at least 3-4 years. So, like, I haven't listened to it in such a long time.
Yeah. I just wanted to go back and see, and you do explain about the whole chess talk mission of it, That's what it is. Like,
we had a mission?
You play, well, not mission, but like, the whole thing of what it's about,
Yeah.
And it was you guys play chess and just talk randomly about stuff, and you wanted to record it. I mean, that's what it was brought up, So I was like, oh, that's cool too, and that's what I kind of wanted my mukbang to be as well. Just like anybody come in, I'm eating, I hope they're eating too, and then we're just talking about random things.
I would love this show more if I could just eat the whole time, though.
You'd start streaming, start doing mukbangs. That's what you do.
It's like getting dinner with friends.
Yeah, I imagine with the quarantine, it's mukbanging's gonna just explode in popularity.
Probably.
This is where you're gonna reach peak because quarantine now.
I would hope so. If this doesn't do it, nothing will.
There's
for mukbang.
No end in sight, so
yeah, it's just people are gonna get more and more desperate for social interaction. Pretending they're at a restaurant. No, but that's definitely cool. I'm obviously going to put your Twitch in the description so people can go check it out.
Oh, thank you.
Got to do it. Did you have a good week? Anything from this week you want to bring up that stood out to you? Or is it just kind of been low-key with being stuck at home?
Just been stuck at home. The only thing new I started up is Money Heist.
Okay. I keep seeing that on Netflix. What is it about? Because I haven't even watched the trailer.
Just pretty much what it is. I don't want to give too much away, but it's just pretty much a bank heist.
Okay. And is it one season or is it like the second season just came out?
I think they're up to 4 right now.
Oh, okay.
But I'm halfway through, so.
Okay. I mean, without spoilers, like thumbs up, thumbs down?
Thumbs up. Thumbs up.
Okay.
It's weird. At first I was like listening to like the dubbed version.
Oh.
And yeah, cuz it's from Spain, I think. A show that originates from Spain.
Okay.
I was about to just give it up after the first season. Honestly, the dub is that bad.
Yeah, no, we've experienced that.
Yeah, it was like so many weird forced emotion stuff that happens, and it was like, but then when I read it in sub, it's like way better. Like subtitles, like you can't. Yeah, it just takes the show to a whole new level. So
yeah, we experienced that with Dark, that show on Netflix, because it's in German and there's dubs. And Brittany, you started it on dubs, and you're like, "This is too bad."
Because I didn't know it was a German show at first, and I started it, and like it was really off-putting listening to this very monotone English voice with like this kid that's really like emoting.
Yeah,
and I was like, something's not right here. Oh, it's a German show. It's bad.
Yeah,
but then it switched to German, and it's amazing.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Maybe we'll check it out because we are about to be caught up on television shows, I think.
Yeah, I've been watching a lot of shows during quarantine.
So, I mean, I'm right there with you. So, yeah, I did start Veep during the past, like, week or so.
Heard about it, but seen it.
It's on the HBO Now, like, free service that they're doing.
Yeah, they're having, like, a limited selection streaming for free, and we've been taking advantage of that.
Yeah, because I've been going through Veep. I'm almost on season 3. You finished Succession. We talked about that last week. You got me finally going through Succession. I'm on episode 8 now. You started Big Little Lies. No, you finished Big Little Lies.
Yeah, it was whatever.
Yeah. Don't watch it, I guess.
I mean, if you like feminism, watch it.
Yeah, if you like the book it's based on, go watch it.
Watch the first season.
Okay.
That's it.
I am just backlogged on a whole bunch of TV shows. I should be catching up with everything because when I was working, like I was not watching like anything. I'll be like, oh, I'll watch it. I'll watch this later, and then it ended. And then okay, I'll catch up and watch this later, and then that ended. And then like all these things are just ending, and I'm so far behind. I was like, I don't even know where to start now. You know, it was
start with the big ones.
Yeah, I do want to get back to watching a bunch of shows. I did that in December.
Okay.
I watched a whole bunch of shows then. Just need to keep going with it.
If you need recommendations, Brittany is always right on the corner.
I love television, so
can't get enough of television.
No.
Yeah, it's all you do.
To think. Yeah, I knocked out Umbrella Academy, The Boys,
good show.
Barry.
I just finished the first season of that, so
I really enjoyed that. I didn't know there was a second season when it was out already, so I gotta catch up on that.
It's free. It's on the HBO free thing right now.
I will do that. I was trying to get into his Dark Materials, but I saw the whole thing and was like, no. Yeah. I try and give like shows a whole season.
Yep.
You know, just to see where they're going with it and how I'm feeling about it currently. And I think I'm out with his Dark Materials. And leaving off with like that first season is like, it should be something like so big, it should like take me back in. But I'm like, nah, I'm out.
Oh, no. Yeah, that's not a good
and then
feeling you should be left with.
Pen 15.
Pen 15?
Pen 15.
Oh. I get it.
Yes.
And I think Russian Doll. I saw all of that. Hold on, because this is so hard. Like thinking and playing.
I think that's what every person I make do this.
Yeah,
they all sort of
like,
–
realize.
That's why I don't do it.
Like, talking and then, like, trying to get your moves in, trying to think and that, and oh my gosh. All right.
We don't need to finish the game by the time the podcast is over, so if you go 5-10 minutes without moving, it's totally fine.
Oh, okay.
And it's harder for people that come on, too, because, like, they're stuck thinking, and so I have all this time to plan out my other moves, so as soon as you go, I'm gonna go, and so you're right back to where you were.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. Hold on. Sorry about that. Just trying to think of my moves for everyone who's
You're totally
just
fine.
like, why is it so quiet?
See, and I just instantly go.
I know. I was put in a rough spot, man. Oh, but going back to, because I did. We were talking earlier about catching up with some stuff, and I'll bring attention to it. Like, we used to work together. We're an old co-worker. Like, I don't know, going back, I don't know how I found out about your podcast. Oh, damn. You could reach that? Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
You took my horse. A horse ain't a horse. But I don't know.
Combat.
Right? I don't know how I found out about it, but then I just started listening to it for a little bit. And then that's when I messaged you, because you were talking, you were with your other friend, Eddie? Or
Yep.
Yeah, and then that's when I was like, kind of, I love the way the chess pieces slide across the board, man. Can you do more of that? Like, and then you guys gave me a shout out on your the next episode.
Yeah, because I was just blown away.
Yeah, and I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Like,
yeah, and I mean, I have to indirectly credit you, because at one point, I think you asked, like, hey, where are, like, the old episodes or something? Like, you somehow brought it to my attention that the website that we were using wasn't keeping the episodes up to date. It only had 100 episodes. Yeah. And so we were on, like, episode 130 or something. And so the first 30 episodes were essentially gone. And so that's why we switched to a different site and everything. And you were like, what happened to the old site? I was like, well, I had to fucking change it all up because it was dumb, but you brought it to my attention.
Yeah, that's what it was, too, because when I checked on that website, the old one, it stopped updating. However, I found it, and that's when I messaged you and was like, oh, are you done with your podcast? Like, I think that's pretty cool. And then, when I came home, so essentially going back, I don't think we explained on this podcast that.
On the recording, no.
On the recording, that I took a trip last year. I had a job, now I don't have a job, but I saved up money and I took a road trip across America. People were telling me, go ahead and do overseas stuff, international travel. Oh, no. I was like, no. I would have burned, like, a lot of my saved up money just getting out of the country. And I was, like, thinking, yo, I haven't seen, like, all of America.
Yeah.
So why not do a road trip? So my goal was, and I did it, was I'm from Las Vegas, and I just wanted to touch the Atlantic Ocean, and I'm going to Maine. So the whole last year, I took off, I quit my job, and did a road trip. It was from Vegas, and then the very beginning, right after New Year's, I left my job, and I went from Vegas, from San Diego, LA, the Bay Area. I got stuck in Oakland. I was saying that earlier.
Would you say it was like a couple weeks, or?
I was stuck out there for about 3 months.
Oh my
god.
Yeah. Not the Bay Area, but like the whole thing from California. I was stuck in California essentially for 3 months.
It's like bouncing around between family and friends.
Yeah. If I didn't have a place to stay, I wanted to do California because I did have family and friends all throughout the state. But if I didn't have a place to stay, and I tested it out the first day, there's an app actually you could download. I forgot the name of it, but it could tell you. It has people leaving comments of what Walmart you're allowed to sleep in the parking lot.
I didn't know there was any that you were allowed. Oh no, that's not true, because I think there are some with like RV sections, so you can like park your RV and sleep.
Makes sense.
It's yeah. Well, so I think I got lucky in San Diego because for the most part, Walmarts, they don't care if you sleep in their parking lots. I don't think they have a company policy against it, but the city can have an ordinance of no overnight parking. So it's up to whatever local laws that's like, nah, you can't do this. So
get out.
Yeah. So I think there was a local law in San Diego, but I think the security guy didn't care.
I imagine they don't care too much.
Yeah. There was a time where I was sleeping in, I want to say at one of the Walmarts in Chula Vista, still like San Diego area. And then like I just woke up. Something seemed off. But then I woke up and then I could see like the police lights going on. Oh. And I was like, what is going on? But he was just essentially, it looked like he was just driving by slowly, running everybody's plates in the parking lot. And then when he didn't see anything wrong, he took off. Because I just woke up and it's like, something's off. And then yeah. There's like a police car and then he just like took off pretty much when, yeah.
God, yeah, that's a little concerning. I think that's why I couldn't do a big long road trip like that unless I had like a little trailer or something so I could sleep inside of something, just like in a car where people can peek their head in and.
Yeah, if I had known I was going to like for reals like do this, dang, that's a rough move. If I had known I was gonna do this, I think this is it, right? Is this game?
It would tell you. You can move. Yes. There. Yeah, if
I would have done what I've seen a lot lately on YouTube, that van life, where people take an old van, and they just fix it up and whatnot, and they throw in a bed in the back, they throw like a mini kitchen, they redo the floors. Now they got like wooden floors inside. I've seen them like extend the roof of vans. It's like really weird. It's like the van, the roof sits closed, it locks. It's almost like how a convertible is, except it doesn't peel back. It just extends up. I've seen that.
Wow.
And that's pretty cool. So then you could just stand up in your van. Now you have more.
Insane.
Yeah, I think I might have went that route if I had known this is what I was really going to do.
Yeah, if you knew how much time exactly you'd be spending in your car.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't think it all the way through, I guess. No, I had car troubles, and that's why. I had car troubles, and then I just doubled down on those solving those problems. And then just from the nature of that warehouse work, mandatory overtimes, how that goes. That's good money, but at the same time, it's not good time in wasting your life away. I'm making all this money. I can't even do anything with it. I'm not going to buy another TV or whatever. I'm comfortable with because I usually buy tech stuff and I'm like, I'm happy with what I got and everything. But I think
so that's when
I want, there was a time where I think mentally I was going crazy. I think it was like, what was it? Just one of these days, I was just tired. I was just tired of seeing the walls and the people. And I started, on my lunch break, I was like yelling at cars passing by. I was like, where are you guys going? Don't you guys got work too? Why aren't you at work? Like, just yelling at these cars. Everyone's like, bro, calm down. Like, I need
and that's when you do, like, oh shit.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what kicked off, like, you know what? Like, I can't take this mandatory overtime stuff. I gotta go. I gotta take a break.
Does sound like a very fun time, though.
It is.
Again, I don't know if I could ever pull the trigger like that. Maybe another 5-10 years, something will hit me and I'll snap and I'll be like, I just need to fucking leave. I need to take a break from society.
When you start yelling at cars passing you by on your lunch break, bro, then just go, just take off, just go.
I mean, in theory, you'd be going with me.
Okay,
I'd be dragging you with me for
I hope so. Yeah, me too. Take me with me. No, but it was fun. I did what I got to do, and and that was it. Went home.
Yeah.
I had to go home. I got summoned for jury duty.
Mm-hmm.
I did that, and then I didn't even get picked to become a juror.
Oh my god.
That would piss me off so much.
They were like, hey, fill out this giant packet and just be available for the next month. So I went home in July. No. Yeah, July. It was like end of July, and then my thing was in August, and then they didn't let me know till September.
Wow.
And then that was it. So they didn't need me, and then I was like, oh well, better get back to work. Better start looking. And it just sucked because in November, December-ish, I got hella sick, and then came out of that, and then went through some like personal family problems, and then came out of that, and then now we're stuck inside because there's a virus going around.
So it's just like can't actually restart your life.
Yeah. So it's like, oh my gosh, man, this is where we are now. So
wow.
Stuck inside, and I'm on this awesome podcast.
I mean, you're on a podcast.
Yeah.
You can call it that. We're gonna be cynical. But I mean, I figure we can jump into some topics. We were talking about TV for a bit. I figure we can bring it on back. Brittany and
I was all over. I was all over on that story. Like,
you're totally fine.
I was just jumping everywhere because I was like, oh well, I kind of want to talk about this, but then like, I don't want to just drag it out, and so my fault about that.
Not many people can say they drove all the way across Nebraska, so
and lived to tell the tale.
Yes,
that straight line for oh my gosh,
hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
But yeah, Brittany and I, we have been watching Better Call Saul. We're almost to the end of the season, so we are just going to talk about episode 9 really quick. Spoilers. I don't know if you care about spoilers, Tikeri. You can mute if you want, and we can flag you back.
No, it's all good. The only thing I know about that show is he graduated from the University of American Samoa Law School.
Yep.
Go fighting land crabs. That's all I got to say about that. So.
Yep, he is very proud of that degree, and not a lot of other people are.
And that's all I know about that show.
That's perfect. That's more than I knew going into it, essentially, about what the show would be doing. But yeah, again, spoilers. Check the timestamps. What another tense episode after the Bagman episode. I was never more convinced that I would see a main character die than I was during the last major scene of that show.
When Kim put on her big girl pants and yelled at a drug leader.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I
mean, even before that, I thought like it would be like Gail or whatever when she opened the door, like the gun would just be pointed right at her.
Yeah, I thought she had already opened the door in that. Ugh.
Like Jimmy was gonna turn and then see her get hit.
Yeah. That would have been a true Breaking Bad.
But I mean, hats off to Kim, Ray Seahorn. Just every time she has a scene where she's angry and yelling, it's just she's knocking it out of the park, I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
She's
excellent.
Deserving of an Emmy at this point.
I thought this was the one where we find out what happens to her, and it would have been horrible. My thought was, is Mike going to accidentally kill her? I thought that was her story. I
wondered that too, but at the same time, I couldn't imagine Saul working with Mike if that happened. So that's what I kind of felt like, okay, like Mike isn't going to have anything to do with it. I saw an even worse thing, which would be the outcome, is what if she ends up being forced to be a lawyer for the cartels?
Maybe.
And like she just had this big thing about how like working for Mesa Verde is nothing, doesn't do anything, she's not making a change, and pro bono, like she actually gets something out of it. She's helping people that needs help, and then she's just forced to work for like the most evil people imaginable, and that is her fate. That's probably the worst thing that could happen to her, barring death. Yeah, I think
it was an interesting like last 10 minutes when they started fighting about her quitting her job, and then his phone kept ringing, and you knew what the phone call was, and then Lalo shows up, and he's testing Jimmy, and Jimmy knows, like, change the story a little bit each time, or else he'll know that's rehearsed.
Yeah.
Heart.
I know. And it's just, the thread was talking about it again, or it's just, like, such a 3 words, just tell me again just how much it can weigh on you as an audience member and just how good of an actor.
Terrifying.
Tony Dalton, I think.
I think that's what. Yeah.
The actor's name is. Yeah, just insane. Yeah.
Fuck.
I don't know what it is, but they just have a way of making these normal people essentially be like the most
terrifying people.
Yeah. I don't know what the finale is going to be like.
No idea.
We'll find out sometime next week.
Yeah.
And then Mike, my boy, giving us another life advice with the roads. And apparently this is the thing in Breaking Bad. I'm sure you saw it in the Reddit discussion thread when you talk to Gus.
Fear is not an effective motivator.
Right.
I don't remember Gus saying that.
I don't know. I don't remember it either. It's probably some scene he had with Walt.
Yeah.
But it's apparently this is something that Mike instilled in Gus.
Yeah.
So.
Everyone's quoting Mike.
He's the best character. I wish he was my grandpa. Someone linked to a behind the scenes thing. Back in season 4 when we were introduced to Lalo and he jumped from the bank ceiling. And at the end of it, they had just like a little clip of Jonathan Banks talking. And he was like, sometimes I forget about where I am and like how good I have it, like with the job I'm currently on. And I just, when I think about you guys, everyone watching at home, and I'm just glad that you get to experience it because it makes me realize how awesome it is. So
how
he's like, thank you, and I'll talk to you again soon, or something like that. He just had a very nice send off, and I was like, man, why can't you be my grandpa?
Yeah.
Any other standout moments from the episode? Did you like the DA? That's who he is, right? The district attorney.
I think so.
Hounding.
One of the assistant district attorneys. That was funny. Just when he popped his head in the window.
Yeah, well, fucking here's Johnny, essentially.
Yeah. It was just sad because Saul wants to get back to work and distract himself from the trauma he experienced, but he's clearly not ready.
Right. Because the way the DA made it sound is like Jimmy tanked it. And so I wonder if he kind of did that on purpose because he let this fucking monster loose. And so now he's like, I need to... I don't
think he did.
I don't know. Yeah, I assume it was trauma, but at the same time, like, maybe... I don't know.
He clearly seems distraught about what happened in the desert.
Yes.
And not just because he had to drink his own pee.
He drank his own pee, though.
Okay.
Pretty tough thing.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you never had to do that on your road trip.
Nah.
Okay.
I wasn't there yet.
No.
Maybe if it continued for the whole year, maybe.
Yeah. People are pretty convinced that Nacho's gonna die.
I hope not. Because Saul's first line really to Walt and Jesse in Breaking Bad is, it wasn't me, it was Nacho. Did Lalo send you or something?
Yeah,
so I think they're both still alive.
Or people are also saying if Ring or the cartel kills him, Saul has no idea. Yeah. And so Saul thinks they're still alive, but they could be dead and buried for a year.
Yeah.
So I don't think that they're safe.
I hope Nacho makes it out alive.
I don't know how he would.
I know. Maybe Mike will help him. I don't know.
I don't think he can do that. As amazing as Mike is, he has his limits.
Yeah. It was a good one. I just don't know what's going to happen to Kim. That's all I care about. Her whole speech to Lalo is I can't tell if he was impressed by her because that's why he left, or I don't know. But I really like the thought of this nice blonde woman telling the leader of a drug cartel to get his house in order and get his shit together. That was funny.
Maybe that's what he did need to hear.
Yeah.
Sorry, we're at the very tail end of the chess game.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know it was still going on.
It's down to his king, and then my king and a pawn.
Jesus.
I'm eventually just going to get to the end with the queen.
It's intense.
I don't know how you'd be able to stop me, honestly.
It's a draw.
Right?
No, it's not a draw. It's I win.
No,
I'm just backing into my own corner right now.
I know. Just my fucking little
what happens when your piece goes across? This isn't checkers.
I get a queen.
You get a queen?
I get my queen back.
No.
Yeah.
Is that the way it works?
Yeah.
Is that custom rules or is this for
no,
real?
That's chess-ass chess, my dude.
No.
Just walk it back.
Walking it back, bro.
I'm just gonna leave that as it is. I can't keep just clicking for 15 minutes, and hopefully I will make the judgment call and say I won. Surprisingly, I will make that
you
claim.
Haven't won.
I haven't officially won, but I have a king and a queen. I'm fucking Kevin James.
No.
Yeah, it was a good game. But yeah, Better Call Saul. Go check it out. 5th season's just about to wrap up. By the time this episode out, it will be done. Final season. Apparently Vince Gilligan is having a much more involved role, which I don't know how that's possible, but he is going to be all over season 6 apparently.
Yeah, it's like, how is he more involved?
Probably directing more episodes,
okay.
Whereas I feel like he doesn't really direct too many episodes. Like he directed Bagman, and I want to say that's the first time I've seen him direct an episode in a while. And then more television, more things to binge while you're in quarantine. Another new season of a show, Castlevania, that came out. Always TV. There's always something new to watch. So yeah, there's 3 seasons. The 3rd season just came out in March. I decided to pick it up. I asked Tikeri if he felt like watching it to see if he could talk about it, and you did. So we're going to talk about that in its entirety. Spoilers. Check the timestamps. What'd you think, Tikeri? Did you like it overall?
Yes, I like it. I like it, and then there's just some parts that I don't like about it, but I'm willing to keep going with it.
I think it helps that it's such like a short episode format that you can just be like, all right, whatever. Like I can just get through the scene and then get more interesting bits.
Didn't know it was a cartoon anime-ish.
Yeah. It's unlike any other anime I've seen, especially with like the dialogue.
Yeah.
It seems very modern. In this weird
it is weird. Yes. Because I feel like there's some parts where they're trying to talk olden, and then there's other times where they're just flipping each other off and just saying, fuck you. Like, yeah. And it's like, well, that kind of broke that whole, like...
It's, I don't know.
Yeah, so it gets weird sometimes on that dialogue. That doesn't bother me as much. But I feel like just some of the animation, like if they need to do an animation where it looks like, they're going like so fast and they don't draw it out. They do like some weird, like it gets choppy and it's just like one frame of like all this stuff to, convey motion, blur. And then, and then I'm like, like there's a budget behind it, surely, right? But other than that, just it's good. I think I'll stick it out. Spoilers, I guess we're just free to talk about that. Feel the whole Dracula death didn't stick its landing.
No, I honestly felt that was a super weird scene and time to do it as well. Like, after it happened, I was like, wait, he's just dead? Like, that quick?
Right? And I was like, this some build-up. All right. Just from there, okay, where are we going with this? We have the survivors. We have Dracula's, the other vampires underneath them doing their own thing, and some of the humans, so that's interesting of where they're going with it in, when they ended season 3.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like, all of season 3, I was kind of scratching my head. I was like, why did they get rid of Dracula so early and still continue the show? Like, what are they trying to do? And then finally, by like episode 9 of season 3, they show like, oh, Dracula and his wife still exist in hell, and his minions are trying to get him back. So I was like, okay, we have something to work towards here. If the show,
yes, because it was pretty quick how all that stuff happened, and then with the death, and then it's like, where are you guys going with this? Also, did not expect orgy scenes to be happening within that. It was not expecting that.
Pretty off-put by episode 9. It just came out of nowhere. Like, it was the penultimate episode of season 3. There was like 2 climactic battles happening. One with the Forge Master Isaac way off on the other side of the planet, because it's set in like the real world. Because at one point, the opposing like vampire lady and her sisters, they show like a map of the area they're trying to conquest, and it says like Austria, Poland, like it's set in like actual Europe. So I believe Isaac is just somewhere in like the Middle East trying to conquer that area. But he is off fighting against like an army of similar creatures that he has. And then Trevor and Sypha are fighting like hell demons in this small town that was corrupted. And then you cut to like Alucard, and these two people he's like taken in, they just like wake him up and start to have sex with him as like repayment. And then you cut to the other Forge Master that's imprisoned by the vampire lady, and they're having sex.
They're having,
what?
It was a lot going on, and it just,
It was, I felt off by it too, because I was just looking at IMDb just to like check actors, who they were and stuff, and I saw the ratings for season 3, and episode 9 had like the highest rating of the season, if not the show. And yeah, it like the battle scenes were cool and things like that, and the sex scenes obviously were more than just sex scenes. Like it showed like the vampire lady showing her true colors to the enslaved Forge Master, and she trapped him even further. Alucard, that's what the other sex scene was, that people were betraying him, and he ended up like murdering them because they were about to murder him. So it was just very like it was hard to bounce between these crazy battles and then also, hey look, boobies.
Yeah, right. Also the weirdness of like Alucard, like I guess they were trying to show that he could be showing more of his human side, because just out of nowhere they're like having a play wrestle session. Like, it was weird. But no, it's from there, and then that super build up for the next season. I'm still in.
For me, I'm still with the show because Trevor and Sypha and Isaac's storylines are kind of like the highlights for me, so I want to see how they progress those stories specifically. Yeah.
Like I said, I'm still in. It wasn't like off-putting where like, nah, I'm not interested. It was just a weird moment, but hey, I'll finish it. I'll keep going with it. So,
and I'm sure it's like par for the course of just Castlevania, because that's kind of like its thing. It's like just kind of racy vampires, weird religious stuff. So that's why I'm just kind of like, okay, sure. But
was not expecting to get super religious in some.
Of
it. Yeah, was not expecting. I don't know too much about the whole Castlevania universe. The only thing I know is Simon from back in the days on the NES, but that's all. I never followed any kind of lore or got any other Castlevania games besides that.
Yeah, I never played a Castlevania game. Yeah, and it's on Netflix. Might as well check it out. Do you have a rating for the show? We could say out of 10. Oh man, out of 10 weird cult symbols engraved around a small town, or out of 10 apple trees. That's probably a better one.
10 apple trees. Which reminds me, I thought Homeboy was setting up that little kid to get kidnapped or something when he said, "Hey, I own an apple tree. If you go past this mountain, hop over the fence, make it." I was like, "Oh, dude, this is a setup, bro."
Yeah,
and he was like, "Yeah, I know, I can find it." It just takes off. I was like, "Oh,
that kid's dead." And I just knew. I was like, I was like, "This dude's fucking creepy." Yep.
Yeah.
Sure is.
But I'm with it. I'm somewhere like a 6 or 7.
Yep, I would probably give it about a 7 as well. Like I said, I did enjoy it, and the length is what really like allows me to kind of let the small things slide, which is I can just keep binging through it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's something you could easily just binge and just knock it out. So
yeah, because like by the time, because it was 2 years between season 2 and 3, so if it's another 2 years for season 4, it's like I could easily just rewatch the entire thing right before it comes out, and it's not a huge commitment. So I think we're ready for the final topic, the one Brittany and I are probably the most excited to get into, because we watched Invisible Man, starring Elisabeth Moss, The Handmaid's Tale. She is The Handmaid's Tale.
She is The Handmaid's Tale.
It is a horror thriller. You can watch it on Amazon and probably some other... It says it's available on YouTube, but it actually isn't. So
my understanding of this movie is that it was supposed to be an entry into the Dark Universe, cinematic universe, or whatever. Was
it?
Before they like scrapped those plans, and then they reworked the entire plot.
Oh my god.
Because the Invisible Man is like a book, and they really reworked the plot.
They really did. So yeah, spoilers for this, but again, it technically would have still been in theaters, but now it's just buy it $20 and you can watch it. Yeah, we watched that. I don't know if you want to get your initial thoughts out there, Brittany, since you haven't really gotten to touch on too much.
I did. I mean, I feel like it was my idea to talk about this movie, so I'd like to apologize. It had really good ratings. I don't know. It was fine.
I wouldn't say that.
You really hated it?
I don't know if I hated it, but I was just very underwhelmed by this movie. I don't know how you felt, Tigger. I don't want to
like if you really... Did you see it?
Yes, I saw it and I enjoyed it for what it was.
Okay.
So I liked it.
Do you like
horror
one of those thrillers?
Yeah, I don't mind that. It's just one of those, I wasn't expecting too much out of it because how many times can you redo Invisible Man and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just put it on and I was like, all right, let's just go with it. It's
a good, popcorn flick.
Yes, and I liked it, so did not disappoint.
Okay. Cody, what did you think about it?
I was just annoyed.
Just annoyed?
My biggest issue with it is that they made it very clear from the beginning that it was actually just a guy in a suit. When in my head, it would have made for a much more interesting thing if you spent the entire movie unsure if this was all in her head or an actual guy in a suit.
Yeah.
And since they kind of took that away, I feel like almost right away in the movie, I was just like, this is fucking dumb. Mm-hmm. Because the way they portray him in the suit and everything, there's a kind of tangent, but YMS movie reviewer, we've talked about him a ton. He does have a video touching on this, and that's where it kind of cemented my thought where he suddenly has superpowers and he's super strong and he can just sit there and be in a room for days on end without needing to eat or drink water or sleep or whatever. It's how can he always be there?
Be there, right.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually you'd hear him start snoring in the corner.
Yeah. Or breathing or something. It's is it also a soundproof suit?
Yeah.
A sneeze or something.
I don't know. I feel like they did a good job of making it seem like he wasn't there all the time.
Yeah.
The only thing that was weird was when he got locked in the mental hospital with her. When did he get out of that room? Anyway, but the strength thing I can buy because he literally punched through her sister's window at the beginning of the movie. Mm-hmm. So I was I can believe he's pretty strong.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it's stupid.
It's just...
I appreciate the angle that they took of him going invisible. They didn't give him some kind of weird injection and he disappears or some kind of weird It was a suit, so I'm like, okay, I all right, let's roll with this. That's fine. But to get on your point about I think I would have enjoyed it if they did more because they did those shots where they just held this, they just a long pause and then you don't know if he's there or not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I was like, that buildup is pretty good. Because we're just looking at nothing, but he could be there. So it's that's cool. But then instantly they give it up in the cooking scene where she walks away and then you see the things start moving around.
Yeah.
And then
he
the
takes
pan
a knife
catches on fire.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then it's oh, okay. It's for us. Because I would have appreciated that if they extended that and then you don't know. Is she really crazy? Because she could still be paranoid because homeboy it's crazy like that. But
yeah.
If that same kitchen scene could have happened, but instead of just staying at the kitchen, the camera could have followed her. And so it's or just cut away and then she's just standing in the kitchen with it on fire and doesn't realize how that happened and we don't know either. I don't know. I think they could have done cool things. I think what they wanted to do is just show off cool camera tricks and stuff because it's the same director from the movie Upgrade.
Yes.
Where he did a lot of really cool camera stuff.
Tracking shots.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
And
I noticed. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and towards the end when the combat's happening, it's you could essentially swap the scenes from Upgrade into this movie and
Which even as goofy as those combat scenes were in this movie, I do like the style of the director because he does the same kind of stuff in Upgrade.
Yes.
I very much appreciate it.
And there was
but it was really stupid.
There was the one shot with Cecilia, I couldn't remember her character's name, where she's like standing in the living room kitchen area, like holding a knife out, and the camera just like zooms out and just has this wide angle view of like the living room area, and it circles around. I was like, that's really cool. I think the cinematography is the standout thing of this movie.
Yeah.
And if you appreciate that, that's why you should watch it.
I don't know. To me, it felt out of place just going really wide angle for one time.
Yeah.
To show out.
Yeah.
I get it, but it was like one of those, I don't know. It just, to me, it felt off.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I get that.
Yeah,
like, if you're going to do something like that, like, why don't you kind of like make that more prevalent in the movie as opposed to just a one thing done.
Yeah, it was just a one-time thing where she was, hit me, or whatever. Which got me, because I was not expecting Homegirl to get slapped.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was just out of nowhere, and I was like, what? Like, I'll probably be messing with people like that, too. But, hey, shout out to where they don't show some kind of weird ghost or invisible, like, pervertedness, like a rape scene or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't show that.
I was worried about that, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is probably be like that. What was it, Kevin Bacon, Hollow Man?
Yep, that's what I was thinking of. There's a movie where Kevin Bacon, like, somehow there's like an accident and he becomes invisible and he turns like into this hyper aggressive guy and like he starts killing people on his team and like there's definitely like a sexual assault scene because he's invisible.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I don't like
that. And I was like, good shit. You didn't have to go that route. Like,
yeah, he could be creepy without being like violating.
Yeah. So, but yeah, just going back to that shot thing, it just for me, like, yeah, that one scene where they just zoom out into the kitchen area and just showing that, just because it happens like that, just once, I thought something else was gonna. I mean, I guess it's cool, but at the same time, it just for me, it just seemed off. And then the whole execution, it's never like easy doing those scenes where it's like, oh my gosh, an invisible person is attacking me. If you don't execute that right, it just comes off as corny or real cheesy, So it wasn't too bad. There was some things where it's like, from an angle, how did she fly that far? But
yeah, definitely.
It's real nitpicking from my end because overall, I really enjoyed the movie. So
I would say that scene where she's like first fighting him in the kitchen, that same kitchen kind of scene, you could really take like clips of that and it looks like she's just kind of throwing a tantrum on the floor of a kitchen. But at the same time, like I'm thinking about it, like I don't know how you would even begin to film a scene like that. Like there's no way you can make it look hyper realistic.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that execution, it wasn't like, oh man, this is terrible. It was like, okay, I'm with it.
Right.
She's being attacked.
How did it end? It ended with her
getting
the suit.
Yeah. The extra suit.
Because he made 2.
Maybe 3.
Yes. Who knows?
Who knows?
Fucking killed him. And then my major issue with the ending is why did she take the suit with her?
Because she's going to be the Invisible Man.
The Invisible
Woman. Yes.
You called
in
it when you first texted me.
They're going to do what were the other DUCU movies that came out?
Mummy. That's
it. It's going to be whoever played Mummy and then Elisabeth Moss in Avengers.
Tom Cruise.
It's going to be Tom Cruise. No, I don't like this anymore.
They're both Scientologists.
They are both Scientologists.
They could do it.
Oh, that's weird.
Uh-huh.
So is John Travolta going to be like, who else is in the DUCU?
the thing, the swamp thing?
Yes. John Travolta is going to be the thing.
I think it's the swamp thing.
Yeah, whatever it is. I don't know anything about this universe.
No one knows anything about DUCU because it's a stupid idea. Sounds like Dookie.
Not if it's like all Scientologists. Really? That would be hilarious. The Scientologists are funding the DUCU.
They're funding Dookie, all right. I'm just going to keep calling it that.
We're going to get sued. We have to be positive.
That's fine. I want the attention.
I don't. I don't
news
have
is good
money.
News.
All right.
We can't afford to pay Scientology. Fuck. Anyway, this movie was weird.
It does the thing with modern horror movies where it's like the main character forgets about their cell phone anytime it would be important.
That's the thing about horror movies. I feel like it's hard to make them now because cell phones make it so much easier to not get in those situations.
Right. Like as soon as when she's up in the attic and she throws the paint, like she should have had her phone ready. Mm-hmm. And like, so when she threw the paint bucket, she could like already be recording and like it captures like, oh shit, the paint hit something and here's a person.
Yeah. Or when she finds the suit.
Yeah. And she
record it.
Record the fact that she's turning it invisible and back to being visible.
Mm-hmm. And then just text it to someone.
Her cop friend that she's living with. Maybe he could help.
Fuck. They make people so stupid in horror movies.
For the sake of it being convenient.
I know. Oh, God.
Or just stupid mistakes in general. Like, just take off with the dog.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I would have just took off.
Yeah.
My life's in danger right now. Like, you're a cool dog. I'll come back for you later.
I mean, I get that. I'd help the dog.
I don't know.
An idiot, so.
I can't. I get that, but at the same time, I gotta go. I'm sorry,
I don't know.
dog.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if she was spending the time to stop and like get the collar off him, you might as well just take him at that point. It's like you either help him or you don't. Mm-hmm. Like one or the other. Come on. Move along.
Like what is taking the collar off going to do? We can just put it right back on him when he wakes up.
He's clearly walled into this like prison type system. How is a dog going to get out with the collar off? Mm-hmm. He's not. The other major frustrating thing is the cops in this movie. The guards at the mental institution.
Oh, they were so idiots.
They would only come in 2 at a time. And then even though they watched their partner just get attacked by this invisible thing, they'd still like think it was Cecilia was doing it. Fucking man.
Everyone in horror movies are stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it how the guy, Adrian, right?
Yes.
Yeah. He was just so petty about messing around with Cecilia. Mm-hmm. He was just like, he didn't care about loose ends. He was like letting some cops live. Like, it was just so petty of him. I'm like, I like that. Like,
who are they going to believe?
I'm after this one person. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
God.
But yeah, no, that was kind of weird because there was like hella cops dying left and right. Just don't move, Cecilia, and they would get it. They would get it too. So,
and I just. You know, if it was an actual mental institution, there's probably cameras in the hallway, so they can look back and see, like, oh, she's sitting there cowering on the floor, and these people are getting punched and shot. Like, it's probably not her that's doing that.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe.
Or they're more inclined to believe she has, like, telekinetic powers.
Maybe.
Than something is there beating us up.
With their fucking terrible degrees that they got to work at this barely functioning mental institution, I guess.
Also, the cop friend,
James,
with Cecilia. Yeah, James. Yeah, after all that stuff that happened, it's like, you know, then he still wasn't believing like Adrian was still in on it from the very end. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, no, I've seen this plenty of stuff before.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was really tied up in the basement. It was like, bro, you just witnessed like an invisible person. She's been begging you to see like things her way. I kind of would have gave her that.
But, you know, no. He's the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a movie where you could just play it and go with it. So that's what I did, and I enjoyed it. So
I'm glad I got enjoyment out of yelling at it. We were being very loud watching this movie.
Were we?
I mean, we were. That's probably the most we've talked at a movie before. Because that's how you're supposed to watch horror movies, I guess. Is just yell.
Yeah.
Instead of being scared, you're just angry.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
It's pretty cathartic.
Yeah. It helps you get over it.
Yeah.
So, are we ready to rate it?
Sure.
Out of 10, what?
What was the waiter's name?
Oh, wasn't it like Trevor?
Taylor or something.
Taylor. I think it was Taylor.
Yeah.
No, but we can't just name it after a person.
Yeah, but he was the best part of the movie.
Out of 10
Moss's
ladders.
Sister was so mean to him.
10 ladders.
Okay.
Tikeri, do you want to give your rating?
Yeah, I'll throw it a 7. I enjoyed it. It wasn't great. It was good enough for me. Yeah.
It's a fun popcorn flick.
Yes.
So what's your rating, Britt?
5 out of 10.
Okay. I will go with a 3 out of 10. This is not a good movie.
So you were yelling, huh?
I was unhappy with the fact that I was watching it. Like, this is my Friday night.
Yeah.
This is what's happening on my Friday night.
Yeah.
God. But again, it's, if you like cinematography, if like Tikeri said, if you just want like a kind of mindless movie, go watch it.
Yeah, I'm like, if you want like cinematography, just go watch Upgrade instead.
Yes, you'll get a better package overall, and it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah,
I will keep that in mind. I haven't seen that, so
it came out 2018.
Yeah. Yes. Well, yeah. There's a movie that it was very similar to.
Venom, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very similar to Venom.
But it's not Venom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But it's not.
And
Venom.
like the actor is like Kmart Tom Hardy.
Yeah. Okay. Looks just like Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Came out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It's poetry.
Yeah. That's a good movie. Better than you'd think for a very like, I don't know if it was low budget.
It was.
Yeah, for a low budget like action sci-fi kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It did its job.
It was interesting.
No, I was just mentioning just having the right mind frame of it, because I was just going in with, having already seen other Invisible Man kind of movies before.
Right.
This.
Mm-hmm.
So it was easy to go. Like, one movie that I guess I want to rewatch, but I don't, because I kind of think I don't like it, was Parasite.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, like everyone was talking about it, and then, so in my head, I thought like it was like a horror movie.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's what we thought too.
So then halfway through, I'm like, where the hell are the monsters though? Like,
where's the parasite at?
Yeah, where are the monsters? Where's the horror part? And then when they did the whole thing about that, they are the parasites because they're, they leech on, to that whole family. Now it's like,
boo.
Yeah, I was like, I was hoping in my mind for something else, and I just got to stick it out with it. Which I don't know. It was okay at best. Wow. But I'll have to rewatch it. Yeah, I'll have to rewatch it.
I think maybe going in knowing that it isn't a horror movie, you might appreciate the movie more.
Yeah.
You're not going to be sitting there waiting and then disappointed when it doesn't happen.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, no, I'm just watching the movie to finish it, because where's the monsters though? Like,
no, I'm just watching people. Fuck this.
Yeah.
The people are the monsters. I get it now.
Well, I think that'll do it for this episode. Well, again, thank you, Tikeri, for being on.
Yes.
It was a great time. I'm sure we'll have you back on sooner rather than later.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And when I start up my live streaming again, I extend my invitation for you guys to come on for a mukbang. I know Britt's probably not.
Can I bring my own food?
You can sit and eat with us.
I can eat too? Cool, then I'm in.
Yeah, we just throw it all on the table. And
I have no issue with it. I just was introduced to it in the wrong way.
Yes. Now that you know it's a normal thing where it's just people eating, you're like, I can get behind that.
Because what I was told is very different than that.
Mm-hmm.
That's my defense.
Well, it's not that.
Okay.
We do have to be shirtless, though.
Okay, maybe I won't participate in that. The
okay.
internet lied, and I didn't expect that.
So, again, thanks for being on. Thanks, everyone, for listening. Again, Tikeri's stream will be in the description. You can also listen to us anywhere on iTunes, Spotify, all that good stuff. Give us a rating. Tell your friends about us. And we will be hearing from you next week. And I think that's it. Bye.
Bye.